would love to hear from you guys. Any thoughts anybody's having, or any questions, ideas people want to change, anything this is bringing up for them? I know we've had a couple great comments here in the chat going through it.
I was just going to say, it's not even just in the United States. I grew up in Brazil, and we start thinking back, and I have started to do that over the last year, thinking more and more about, even beyond that, but thinking more and more about what is that we used to say, or not we, but what we heard. And as you get more aware, I start thinking of these Brazilian expressions and how horrible they were, and it just unbelievably horrible. And it's like, but yet it was so part of your, vocabulary that you couldn't even tell, right? Until you become aware down the line. So it's, and now, of course, I have the advantage as I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old, as teach Portuguese along the way, you can know that he's not going to hear those, and because we are more self-aware. So the language thing, this language conversation is extremely interesting.
No, I agree. And it's, it's interesting when you say so many expressions we use casually without thinking through the actual meaning of them. There are things, to her point about what you grew up with earlier, right? What you heard around, not just in your home, but at school, like wherever, playing with kids, you heard them and you didn't think twice about them. And I think that can be one of the bigger changes, is just trying to identify that in our daily language too.
Yeah.
Sorry about this, guys. Hopefully we will get Tara right back on with us. There she is. Oh, go ahead, Cassie.
I was just going to say one thing that I threw in the chat too. Don't be afraid to be fallible to your kids. Like, they need to know that you're human. One of the things that caused the most anxiety for me as a kid is feeling like I never understood what was going on, because my parents never communicated with me. They never trusted me. And so, like, you have to build that trust relationship with your kids to be able to have that conversation with them, and to be able to explain to them that if somebody comes to you and says, you did something that hurt me, like you said something racist, or you said something transphobic or whatever, that person is approaching you because their relationship with you is more important to them than the potential discomfort of this conversation. If their relationship with you wasn't important to them, they would cut you off and just walk away.
Huh. That's really great point, Cassie. I had thought the fallibility is so important, but the trust that builds.
But in a way too, there's a lot of culture there, right? When I was in the first month of a senior year in high school in the U.S. as an exchange student from Brazil, and I felt right away that a 17-year-old was treated like a kid. I had lived on my own for 2 years. I had already changed countries. I had done, I had this maturity that they had no way of recognizing. I'm not saying that I was a 25-year-old in maturity. What I'm saying is, as a 17-year-old, I could tell from right and wrong, but I was treated, administration of the school as if I was a kid, right? So when it came time, so for example, they would call my aunt, we're here for homeroom at 8:30 in the morning. My class to second period, I had no idea what the hell homeroom was. But they treated me like I was a kid. So when they screwed up on an attendance on something else, I walked up to the fair and I said, no, you made a mistake. And this is really, they didn't expect that from a 17-year-old kid. And so I think the idea of culture, trust that it has a lot to do with the way we see children. I have a 6-year-old, but I want him to think on his own, thinking, and I'm going to push for that all the time.
No, it's a great point.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, and I think that critical thinking part is incredibly important, and I think that's what we're promoting here, is to be able to look at different cultures and see how those behaviors, how those how all of it shows up, and how we are. It also helps us to see the similarities between different cultures, different races, different religions. You can see those when you study them. one of my favorite things is, when you think about cultures and everything, everybody has, a beans and rice dish, or a stuffed, meat dish. Everybody has some form of a donut, like we aren't that dissimilar. We all like deep fried sugar. Like that is a common thread that we all have.